Major prophets. Isaiah. Isaiah is called as a prophet in Judah and brings God's messages to several kings. God proclaims judgment against Judah for their religious hypocrisy. The prophet then delivers messages of warning to other nations, including Assyria, Babylon, Moab, Syria, and Ethiopia. For all of God's anger against his people in Judah, he miraculously saves Jerusalem from an attack by the Assyrians. Isaiah predicts the fall of Judah at the hands of Babylon, but he also promises a restoration to their land. Isaiah looks even farther ahead to the promised Messiah, who will be born of a virgin, be rejected by his people, and be killed in the process of bearing their iniquities. Yet the Messiah, God's righteous servant, will also rule the world from Jerusalem in a kingdom of peace and prosperity. Jeremiah, living during the time of the Babylonian invasion of Judah, prophesies Babylon's victory over Judah, a message that brings him much grief from the proud kings and false prophets in Jerusalem. Continually calling God's people to repent, Jeremiah is regularly ignored and even persecuted. Through Jeremiah, God promises that he will one day establish a new covenant with Israel. The prophet lives to see the fall of Jerusalem and predicts that the people's captivity in Babylon will last 70 years. Lamentations. In a long acrostic poem, Jeremiah weeps over the destruction of the land of Judah. The reproach and shame of God's people is overwhelming, and all seems lost. Yet God is just in his discipline, and he is merciful in not destroying the rebellious nation completely. God's people will yet see God's compassion. Ezekiel. This is a book of prophecies written in Babylon by Ezekiel, a priest-turned-prophet. Ezekiel deals with the cause of God's judgment against Judah, which is idolatry and the dishonor Judah had brought upon God's name. Ezekiel also writes of judgment against other nations, such as Edom, Ammon, Egypt, and Philistia, and against the city of Tyre. Ezekiel then promises a miraculous restoration of God's people to their land, the reconstruction of the temple, and God's rule over all the nations of the earth. Daniel. As a young man, Daniel is taken captive to Babylon, but he and 3 friends remain steadfast to the Lord's commands, and God blesses them with honor and high rank in the Babylonian Empire. They have enemies, though. Daniel's 3 friends are thrown into a fiery furnace, and Daniel into a den of lions. But God preserves their lives in each case and bestows even more honor upon them. Daniel survives the overthrow of Babylon and continues prophesying into the time of the Persian Empire. Daniel's prophecies are far-reaching, accurately predicting the rise and fall of many nations and the coming rule of God's chosen king, the Messiah.